Captain Lee Taemin stood on the bridge of the orbital defense station, watching the stars through the thick glass windows. Earth hung below like a blue marble, peaceful and quiet. He had been watching space for 12 years, and nothing exciting ever happened. Ships came and went from Mars colonies. Supply runs moved between the moon bases. Everything was normal. That changed at exactly 14:32 on Tuesday afternoon. "Sir, we have something strange on the sensors," called out Lieutenant Kim from her control panel. Her voice sounded worried. Taemin walked over to look at her screen. What he saw made his stomach drop. Dozens of red dots appeared at the edge of the solar system. They were big, much bigger than any human ship. "How many?" he asked. 200 contacts, sir. They just appeared out of nowhere. They're moving toward us." Taemin grabbed the communication device. "Get me Dr. Park So-young at the research station. Now." Dr. Park So-young was Earth's best expert on alien life. For 30 years, she had studied signals from deep space, hoping to find proof that humans were not alone. She had always dreamed of first contact with aliens, but as she looked at the data Taemin sent her, she felt only fear. "These ships are massive," she told him over the video call. "Each one is at least 5 kilometers long. They're using technology we don't understand. The energy readings are off the charts." "Are they friendly?" Taemin asked, though he already knew the answer. "I don't think so. Look at their formation. They're arranged like a battle fleet. This isn't a peaceful visit." Within an hour, every military leader on Earth knew about the alien ships. General Kim Dong-ho, head of the Unified Earth Defense Forces, called an emergency meeting. Leaders from every country gathered in the command center buried deep under the Swiss mountains. "How long do we have?" asked the President of the Americas. 48 hours at their current speed, replied General Dong-ho. "Maybe less if they accelerate." "What are our options?" asked the European Chancellor. General Dong-ho looked grim. "We have orbital defense platforms around Earth. We have warships patrolling the solar system. We have defensive missiles on the moon. But against 200 alien warships? I honestly don't know if it's enough." Engineer Choi Min-ho had been quiet during the meeting. He worked on the defense systems that protected Earth's space stations. Now he spoke up. "General, our weapons are designed to fight human enemies. These aliens might have completely different technology. Our missiles might not even scratch their hulls." "Then what do you suggest?" asked General Dong-ho. "We need to learn about their technology fast." "Every signal they send, every energy reading we can get. We need to understand how their ships work." Dr. So-young nodded. "Min-ho is right. I'm already analyzing their communication signals. The mathematics are strange, but I think I can decode some of it." The alien fleet continued moving toward Earth. As they got closer, the true size of their ships became clear. The largest vessel was 15 kilometers long and 3 kilometers wide. It looked like a metal mountain floating through space. On the third day, the aliens sent a message to Earth. Every radio, every television, every communication device on the planet received the same signal at the same time. The voice was deep and cold, speaking in perfect English. "Primitive humans of the third planet, I am War Prime Zethvar of the Vorthak Empire. Your world has been selected for conquest, and your species for servitude. You have 72 hours to surrender completely, lay down all weapons, shut down all military installations. Prepare for occupation. Resistance will result in the extermination of your species. This is your only warning." The message ended. Earth fell silent. In the command center, nobody spoke for a full minute. Finally, the Japanese Prime Minister asked the question everyone was thinking. Do we have any choice but to surrender? General Dong-ho stood up slowly. There's always a choice. The question is whether we're willing to fight for our freedom. Fight? Said the African Union president. You saw their fleet. 200 warships against our few dozen defense platforms? Numbers aren't everything, said Tae-min through the video link from his orbital station. We know this solar system better than they do. We know every asteroid, every moon, every hiding place. We built these defenses to protect our home. Dr. So-young had been working on decoding more alien signals. Now she looked up from her computer. I've been listening to their internal communications. They're not taking us seriously. They call us primitives and simple creatures. They think this will be easy. Good, said General Dong-ho. Let them underestimate us. It might be the only advantage we have. Engineer Min-ho was already making plans. I can modify our defense. Platforms to use different attack patterns. If their shields are designed to stop conventional weapons, maybe we can surprise them with something unexpected. The debate continued for hours. Some leaders wanted to surrender to save human lives. Others wanted to fight no matter the cost. In the end, they took a vote. The result was unanimous. Earth would not surrender. Send a message back to their war prime, ordered General Dong-ho. Dr. So-young composed the reply. It was short and simple. This is Earth. We reject your demands. Leave our solar system immediately or face the consequences. This is your only warning. When the aliens received humanity's response, War Prime Zethvar laughed. The sound echoed through his command ship. Foolish primitives, he said to his officers. They think they can threaten the Vorthak Empire. We have conquered 47 worlds. We have destroyed species far more advanced than these humans. Should we begin the attack immediately? Asked his second-in-command. No, said Zethvar. Let them have their remaining time to consider. When they see our power, perhaps some will change their minds. Either way, in 3 days this world will be ours. But Zethvar had made his first mistake. He assumed humans would behave like the other species he had conquered. He thought they would panic, fight chaotically, or surrender quickly. He had no idea what he was really facing. Captain Tae-min returned to his duty station and began preparing his defenses. Dr. So-young continued analyzing alien technology. General Dong-ho coordinated military forces across the solar system. Engineer Min-ho started making modifications to Earth's weapons. None of them knew if they could win, but they knew one thing for certain. They would not go down without a fight. The countdown to invasion had begun. The 72 hours passed quickly. War Prime Zethvar had expected more surrender messages from Earth, but none came. The humans remained silent. Begin the attack, he commanded from his flagship. Send 50 ships toward their planet. Keep the rest in reserve for cleanup operations. Admiral Yoon-ji-hai watched the alien ships approach from her hidden position behind one of Jupiter's moons. Her stealth frigate fleet was invisible to alien sensors, or so she hoped. She commanded 12 small ships designed for hit-and-run attacks. Remember, she told her captains over secure channels, we don't fight them head-on. We hit fast and disappear. Make them think there are more of us than there really are. The Vorthak attack fleet moved in perfect formation toward Earth. They had done this many times before. Usually, the defending species would meet them in open space for a traditional battle. The aliens would win with superior firepower, and the war would be over. But the humans were different. The first alien ship to enter the asteroid belt suddenly exploded. Then another, and another. The asteroids themselves were attacking them. Captain. Taemin had spent 3 days preparing this surprise. Engineer Minho had helped him turn space rocks into weapons. They attached engines and guidance systems to dozens of asteroids, turning them into massive missiles. Direct hit on their lead cruiser, reported Lieutenant Kim from the Orbital Defense Station. Their shields are down to 60%. The Vorthak fleet tried to destroy the attacking asteroids, but more kept coming. Some were real rocks with engines. Others were just decoys designed to waste alien ammunition. The humans had turned the entire asteroid belt into a minefield. War Prime Zethvar watched his formation break apart as his ships tried to avoid the flying rocks. This wasn't how battles were supposed to work. Where was the enemy fleet? Why wouldn't the humans fight properly? Sir, we're detecting small ships attacking from multiple directions, his tactical officer reported. Admiral Jihai's stealth frigates had begun their assault. They appeared from behind asteroids and moons, fired everything they had at a single alien ship, then disappeared again before the enemy could return fire. Sergeant Kang Hyun-woo led the most dangerous mission of all. While the aliens were distracted by asteroids and stealth attacks, his team of Space Marines was boarding one of their ships. Remember, we don't know what their air is like inside, he told his squad as their small boarding craft attached to the alien hull. Keep your helmets on. Watch each other's backs. We're probably the first humans to set foot on an alien ship. The Marines cut through the hull and entered the Vorthak vessel. The corridors were too big for humans, clearly designed for larger creatures. Strange lights pulsed along the walls, and the air had a sharp, metallic smell. "Contacts ahead," whispered Private Lee through the radio. 3 Vorthak soldiers came around the corner. They were tall, covered in gray scales, with 4 arms and glowing red eyes. They carried energy weapons that hummed with power, but they had never fought humans in close combat. The aliens were used to long-range battles in space. They expected enemies to stand far away and exchange fire politely. They weren't ready for humans who charged directly at them, using speed and aggression instead of superior technology. Sergeant Hyun-woo's squad overwhelmed the alien soldiers in seconds. The Vorthak weapons were powerful, but slow to aim. Human. Reflexes and close-quarters training made all the difference. "Ship secured," Hyun-woo reported to Admiral Jihai. "We're accessing their computer systems now." Dr. Lim Jae-sung had been working around the clock to understand alien technology. When the Marines sent him data from the captured ship, he made an important discovery. "Their shields work on rotating frequencies," he explained to General Dong-ho. "Every few seconds, they change the energy pattern to defend against different types of attacks. But there's a brief gap during each transition." Engineer Minho understood immediately. "If we can time our attacks to hit during those gaps, we can punch through their defenses." "How long do we have during each gap?" asked Captain Tae-min. "Less than a second," replied Dr. Jae-sung. "But it might be enough." The information was sent to all human forces. Within hours, Earth's weapons were modified to exploit this weakness. The orbital defense platforms began targeting alien ships with precisely timed bursts of energy. War Prime Zethvar watched in growing alarm as more of his ships took damage. The humans seemed to know exactly when to attack for maximum effect. Worse, one of his cruisers had gone completely silent. "Send a boarding party to investigate the Thonkar," he ordered. But when the Vorthak soldiers reached their missing ship, they found it empty except for human soldiers who had learned to use alien weapons. Sergeant Hyun-woo's Marines had not only captured the vessel, they had figured out how to operate it. "This is insane," muttered the Vorthak boarding party leader. "How did primitives learn our technology so quickly?" He would never get an answer. The human Marines were ready for them. By the end of the first day of battle, the Vorthak attack fleet had lost 15 ships. In 200 years of conquest, they had never lost a single vessel in combat. Now they were losing them to a species they considered inferior. "Pull back to defensive positions," Zethvar ordered reluctantly. "Reassess the situation." But Admiral Ji-Hai wasn't going to let them retreat peacefully. Her stealth frigates followed. The alien ships, picking off stragglers and damaged vessels. The hunters had become the hunted. Dr. So Young had been monitoring alien communications throughout the battle. What she heard worried her more than the fighting itself. "They're calling for reinforcements," she told General Dong Ho. "War Prime, Zethvar is requesting the full invasion fleet, 500 more ships." "How long do we have?" asked the general. 2 weeks, maybe 3. But there's something else. I've been analyzing their battle communications. They're confused. They keep asking why we won't fight honorably. I don't think they understand our tactics." General Dong Ho smiled grimly. "Good. Let them stay confused." Captain Nam Subin had just received command of Earth's newest weapon, a squadron of modified alien fighters. The captured Vorthak technology was being reverse-engineered and improved by human engineers. "The original alien design is powerful but rigid," reported engineer Min Ho. "They build everything for maximum efficiency, but that makes their systems predictable. We've modified these fighters to be more flexible, more adaptable." The test, flight, was a complete success. The hybrid human-alien fighters were faster and more maneuverable than anything in space. Captain Subin felt like she was flying a ship from the future. "When can we have more of these?" asked General Dong Ho. "Give us 2 weeks," replied Min Ho. "We're already building them in the orbital factories." War Prime Zethvar studied the battle reports with growing unease. His species had conquered 47 worlds using the same strategy, overwhelming force followed by swift occupation. It had never failed before, but humans fought differently. They used tricks instead of honor. They adapted quickly instead of following established patterns. They seemed to get stronger the longer the battle continued. "Perhaps we underestimated them," admitted his second-in-command. Zethvar's eyes flashed with anger. "They are primitives. They have no space empire, no conquered worlds, no advanced technology. They cannot defeat the Vorthak." But doubt was growing in his mind. For the first time in his military career, he was losing a battle he should have won easily. On Earth, the mood was cautiously optimistic. The first battle had gone better than anyone expected, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. "They'll be back," General Dong Ho told the world leaders, "and next time they'll bring everything they have." "Are we ready?" asked the President of the Americas. Dr. So Young looked up from her analysis of captured alien data. "We're learning their technology faster than they expected. Every day makes us stronger." "But will it be enough?" pressed the European Chancellor. Nobody could answer that question. All they could do was prepare for the next battle and hope that human ingenuity would be enough to overcome alien technology. The war for Earth's survival had only just begun. Commander Oh Seung-jin climbed into the cockpit of the captured alien fighter for the first time. The seat was too big for him, designed for the larger Vorthak body, but engineer Min Ho had modified everything to fit human pilots. "The controls are different from anything we've built," Min Ho explained over the radio. "Instead of buttons and switches, it responds to thought patterns. The helmet connects directly to your brain." Seung-jin put on the strange alien helmet. Suddenly he could feel the ship around him like it was part of his own body. The sensation was incredible and terrifying at the same time. I can sense everything, he reported. Engine temperature, fuel levels, weapon status. It's like the ship is alive. The Vorthak technology is biomechanical, said Dr. So Young from the research station. Their ships are grown as much as they're built. That's why they respond so well to mental commands. But Seung-jin discovered something the aliens hadn't expected. While Vorthak minds were rigid and disciplined, human minds were creative and unpredictable. The ship responded to his thoughts in ways it was never designed to handle. He made the fighter spin in impossible directions, accelerate beyond its supposed limits, and perform maneuvers that should have torn it apart. The alien technology adapted to his human creativity, becoming something entirely new. "This is amazing," he told Minho. "It's like the ship wants to try new things. The original Vorthak pilots must have been holding it back." Within days, Earth had a squadron of hybrid fighters that outperformed anything the aliens possessed. Captain Subin led them in training exercises that would have been impossible with pure human or pure alien technology. Professor Baek Yoon-ji had been working day and night to decode Vorthak communications. She was Earth's best linguist, speaking 12 human languages fluently, but alien languages were completely different. "They don't just use words," she explained to the military command. "Their language includes electromagnetic frequencies, chemical signals, and quantum fluctuations. It's like they're speaking with their entire bodies." But humans had one advantage the aliens didn't expect: pattern recognition. While the Vorthak language was complex, it followed logical rules. Professor Yoon-ji's team of linguists and computer experts worked together to crack the code. "I've got something," she announced after 2 weeks of constant work. "They're not just talking about Earth. There are references to 47 other conquered worlds. The Vorthak Empire is much larger than we thought." The intercepted messages revealed disturbing information. The aliens spoke of humans like they were laboratory specimens, interesting but ultimately disposable. They planned to use Earth as a testing ground for new conquest techniques. But the messages also revealed something encouraging. The Vorthak were worried. "Listen to this." Professor Yoon-ji played a recorded communication. The alien voice sounded stressed and uncertain. "The primitives fight unlike any species we have encountered. Our battle doctrine requires revision. Recommend immediate deployment of reserve fleets." General Dong Ho studied the translation carefully. "They're calling for help. That means we're hurting them more than they expected." Dr. Song Woo-jin had been analyzing the captured alien ships for any technology that could help Earth's defense. What he found changed everything. "They use faster-than-light travel," he reported to the research team. "But it's not like our theoretical models suggested. They bend space itself, creating tunnels through dimensions we didn't know existed." Engineer Minho looked at the alien engine designs with fascination. "If we can understand this technology, we could build our own FTL drives." "How long would that take?" asked General Dong Ho. "For the aliens, it took thousands of years to develop," replied Dr. Woo Jin. "But we have their completed designs to work from. Give me 6 months and I might have a prototype." The possibility of faster-than-light travel excited everyone. But it also raised a terrifying question. If humans could reach alien space, what would they find there? War Prime Zethvar's reinforcements arrived 3 weeks after his first defeat. 500 more ships emerged from FTL near the outer planets. The alien fleet was now larger than anything humanity had ever imagined. "This should be sufficient," Zethvar told his expanded command staff. "No primitive species can resist 700 warships." But his subordinates were no longer confident. The first battle had shaken their faith in Vorthak's superiority. Some privately wondered if humans might actually be more dangerous than they appeared. "War Prime," said his tactical officer. "Our intelligence reports suggest the humans have reverse-engineered our technology. They may have capabilities we don't expect." Zethvar's anger flared. "Impossible! It takes centuries to understand Vorthak science. These primitives have had only weeks. Nevertheless, sir, we recommend caution." "Caution?" Zethvar's voice rose to a roar. "We are the Vorthak Empire. We do not show caution to inferior species." But, privately, even Zethvar was beginning to doubt. The humans had done things that should have been impossible. They had adapted to alien technology faster than any conquered species. Most disturbing of all, they seemed to enjoy fighting. The second battle began with a coordinated alien assault on Mars. The Vorthak expected to capture the terraformed planet easily, using it as a base to attack Earth. They found the planet defended by something they had never seen before: hybrid human-alien technology. Commander Seung Jin led the new fighter squadron in an attack that stunned the alien fleet. The hybrid fighters moved like nothing in Vorthak experience, appearing and disappearing faster than their sensors could track. "How are they doing that?" demanded Zethvar as his ships took heavy damage from impossible angles. His science officer studied the sensor readings with confusion. "They appear to be using our own technology, but modified beyond recognition. The energy signatures are familiar, but the performance characteristics are unprecedented." The battle for Mars lasted 6 hours. When it ended, the Vorthak had lost 30 ships and failed to land a single soldier on the planet's surface. The humans had achieved something no other species had managed. They had fought the Vorthak to a standstill. Dr. So Young monitored alien communications throughout the battle. What she heard revealed the true scope of human success. "They're arguing among themselves," she reported to General Dong Ho. "Some Vorthak commanders are questioning War Prime Zethvar's leadership. They're saying he underestimated us." "What else are they saying?" "That's the interesting part. They keep referring to us as unprecedented. Apparently, in 200 years of conquest, they've never faced anything like human resistance." The psychological impact on the Vorthak was becoming clear. They were a species built on certainty and superiority. The idea that primitives could challenge them was breaking down their entire worldview. Captain Nam Subin's hybrid fighter squadron had become Earth's most effective weapon. The combination of alien technology and human creativity produced results neither species could achieve alone. "The ships learn from us," she reported after her latest mission. "Every time we try something new, they adapt to help us do it better. It's like they were waiting for pilots who weren't afraid to experiment." Engineer Min Ho understood what was happening. Vorthak technology is designed to be stable and predictable. Their pilots use the same maneuvers for centuries. But humans are naturally innovative. We're unlocking potential the aliens never knew existed. The implications were staggering. If human creativity could improve alien technology this dramatically, what else might be possible? Professor Yunji intercepted a message that changed everything. It was a communication from War Prime Zethvar to the Vorthak High Command, requesting permission to retreat. "The primitive species displays unprecedented adaptive capabilities," the message read. "Recommend strategic withdrawal and reassessment of conquest protocols." The response from Vorthak High Command was swift and harsh. "Retreat is not acceptable. Complete conquest or face court-martial for failure." "They can't back down," Professor Yunji explained to the military leaders. Their entire culture is built on conquest. If they admit defeat to humans, it would destroy their empire's foundation. General Dong Ho realized the truth. They can't retreat, but they also can't win. We've trapped them in a war they never expected to fight. The stage was set for the final phase of the battle. The Vorthak were committed to victory at any cost. While humans had proven they could match alien technology with superior tactics and creativity, but War Prime Zethvar had one last desperate plan. If he couldn't defeat the humans conventionally, he would try something the Vorthak had never done before: total planetary destruction. The war was about to reach its climax, and neither species fully understood what they had unleashed. Fleet Admiral Park Chan-wook stood in the command center of humanity's newest warship, built entirely from captured Vorthak technology. The vessel was twice the size of anything humans had ever constructed, but it felt right under his command. "Sir, we're detecting massive energy buildup in the alien fleet," reported his tactical officer. "They're positioning their largest ships in a bombardment formation." Chan-wook studied the displays with growing alarm. The Vorthak were preparing for planetary bombardment, something they had never needed to do before. War Prime Zethvar was planning to destroy Earth's surface rather than capture it intact. "Get me General Dong Ho immediately," he ordered. On Earth, the emergency meeting was brief and grim. The alien fleet was positioning itself to turn the planet's surface into molten rock. They had abandoned their original plan of conquest and occupation. "How long do we have?" asked the President of the Americas. 12 hours, replied Dr. Song Woo-jin, who had been monitoring the alien energy buildup. "Maybe less. They're charging. Weapons we've never seen before." General Dong Ho looked around the room at Earth's leaders. "This changes everything. We can't just defend anymore. We have to attack them before they can fire." Colonel Lee Mi-young had been planning for exactly this scenario. Her special operations teams had been training for deep strike missions against alien command ships. "My people are ready," she announced. "We have boarding teams prepared to hit their flagship. If we can take out War Prime Zethvar, it might disrupt their entire fleet." "That's a suicide mission," protested the European Chancellor. Colonel Mi-young's expression was hard as steel. "Maybe, but if we don't try, everyone on Earth dies anyway." Fleet Admiral Chan-wook launched the largest offensive operation in human history. Every available ship, from massive captured alien vessels to small stealth frigates, moved to attack the Vorthak fleet. The aliens were caught off guard. They had expected humans to cower in fear as their planet faced destruction. Instead, Earth's forces struck with desperate courage and brilliant tactics. Commander Sung Jin led the hybrid fighter squadrons in the opening assault. The modified alien ships performed beyond all expectations, tearing through Vorthak defenses like they were made of paper. "Their shields can't handle our attack patterns," he reported to Admiral Chan-wook. "We're using their own technology in ways they never imagined." But the real shock came when Colonel Mi-young's boarding teams hit the alien command ships. Instead of just capturing them, the human soldiers were learning to operate alien vessels faster than their crews could evacuate. Sergeant Kang Hyun-woo found himself in command of a Vorthak heavy cruiser after his team overwhelmed its bridge. The alien controls were complex, but human adaptability made the impossible seem routine. "I've got control of their weapon systems," he reported. "These plasma cannons are more powerful than anything we built. I'm turning them on the other alien ships." War Prime Zethvar watched in horror as his own vessels began firing on each other. The humans weren't just capturing his ships, they were turning them into weapons against his fleet. "This is impossible," he roared at his remaining officers. "How are primitives mastering our technology so quickly?" His science advisor cowered before his rage. War Prime. Their brains process information differently than ours. They make connections we would never consider. They're using our own systems against us in ways we cannot predict. Dr. Kwon Byung-ho had been studying captured Vorthak personnel, trying to understand their psychology. What he discovered explained everything. They're not creative, he reported to General Dong-ho. The Vorthak follow strict patterns developed over thousands of years. They never improvise or adapt because they've never needed to. Every species they conquered before was either weaker or fought the same way they do. And humans? We're chaos to them. We break every rule they understand about warfare technology and behavior. They literally cannot comprehend how we think. This psychological advantage was proving more valuable than any weapon. The Vorthak fleet was falling apart because its commanders couldn't predict or counter human tactics. Captain Nam Subin was leading a squadron of hybrid fighters when she discovered something amazing. The alien ships they were fighting weren't just vessels. They were living beings, genetically engineered creatures that had been enslaved by the Vorthak. "The ships are trying to help us," she reported in amazement. "When I connect with the neural interface, I can feel their consciousness. They hate their creators. They want to be free." This revelation changed the entire battle. The Vorthak bioships began turning against their masters, responding to human pilots who treated them as partners rather than tools. Entire squadrons of alien fighters switched sides in the middle of combat. War Prime Zethvar's flagship was surrounded by his own rebelling vessels. The bioships had found something in human consciousness that resonated with their desire for freedom. "All ships withdraw to safe distance," he ordered desperately. "Prepare to detonate the planetary bombardment weapons." But it was too late. Colonel Mi Young's assault teams had already reached his command deck. The battle for the flagship was brief and decisive. The Vorthak warriors were strong and well-armed, but they fought like machines, following predictable patterns. The human soldiers fought like predators, adapting their tactics moment by moment. "Ship secured," Colonel Mi Young reported to Admiral Chan Wook. "War Prime Zethvar is our prisoner." The capture of the Vorthak commander sent shockwaves through the alien fleet. Without clear leadership, their rigid military structure began to collapse. Some ships tried to retreat. Others attempted to surrender. Many simply stopped functioning as their crews panicked. Dr. Song Woo-jin had finally completed his analysis of Vorthak faster-than-light technology. The breakthrough came at the perfect moment. "I've got it working," he announced to the research team. "We can build FTL drives using their captured components. But more importantly, I've figured out how to track their ships through hyperspace." Engineer Minho understood the implications immediately. "We can follow them home." "Exactly. Any Vorthak ship that tries to escape will lead us directly to their empire." Admiral Chan Wook realized the stunning truth. "They can't retreat anymore. If they run, we'll follow them. If they stay, we'll destroy them. We've trapped the entire invasion fleet." The battle continued for 18 more hours, but the outcome was no longer in doubt. Human forces systematically captured or destroyed every Vorthak vessel. The alien fleet that had come to conquer Earth was being conquered instead. Professor Yoon-ji intercepted desperate communications from surviving Vorthak commanders. They were begging their empire for evacuation, but the High Command had already written them off as failures. "They're abandoned," she reported to General Dong-ho. "Their own people are cutting off communications. The Vorthak Empire is pretending this invasion never happened." War Prime Zethvar sat in a human prison cell, his pride completely shattered. Colonel Mi Young interrogated him personally, and what she learned was more valuable than any technology. Your empire has conquered 47 worlds, she stated. Zethvar nodded miserably. 47 species reduced to slavery or extinction. Tell me about your military structure, your homeworlds, your weaknesses. Why? Zethvar asked. You have defeated us. Is that not enough? Colonel Mi Young's eyes were hard as diamond. No, it's not nearly enough. The truth was dawning on the captured alien commander. The humans weren't satisfied with defending their world. They were preparing to take the war to the Vorthak Empire itself. You cannot be considering invasion, Zethvar whispered in horror. You are one species against an empire of millions. We were one species against your invasion fleet, too, replied Colonel Mi Young. How did that work out for you? Dr. Kwan's psychological analysis of the captured Vorthak was revealing critical information. The alien empire was built on fear and superiority. They had never faced a species that fought back effectively. If humans can defeat their invincible fleet, it will cause psychological collapse throughout their empire, he explained to the military command. The subject species might rebel. The Vorthak themselves might panic. General Dong Ho was already making plans. How many ships do we have that are operational? 63 captured Vorthak vessels, plus 37 of our own enhanced designs, replied Admiral Chan Wook. About 100 ships total. Against an empire? The element of surprise is worth a lot. And we have something they don't expect. Ships that want to fight for us instead of against us. The bioships that had joined the human cause were proving their worth. They were faster, stronger, and more adaptable than their original Vorthak versions. Under human guidance, they were becoming something entirely new. Commander Sung Jin was preparing for humanity's first interstellar mission. The captured alien technology would carry human forces beyond the solar system for the first time in history. Are you ready for this? Asked Engineer Minho. Sung Jin looked out at the stars with determination. The Vorthak came here to enslave us. Now we're going to free everyone they've enslaved. The invasion of Earth had failed completely. But for humanity, the war was just beginning. War Prime Zethvar realized with growing terror that he had made the greatest mistake in Vorthak history. He hadn't just failed to conquest a primitive world. War Prime Zethvar knelt in the human prison cell, his once proud armor replaced by simple gray clothing. Ambassador Han Ga-un sat across from him, her expression calm, but her eyes showing no mercy. You asked to speak with me, she said in fluent Vorthak, a language Professor Yunji had taught her. What do you want? Zethvar could barely look at her. 3 months had passed since his capture. 3 months of watching his invasion fleet destroyed or captured. 3 months of realizing the terrible truth about what he had awakened. I wish to surrender, he said quietly. Not just myself, my entire fleet, all remaining Vorthak forces in this system. You already lost your fleet, replied Ambassador Ga-un. We destroyed or captured every ship you brought here. There's nothing left. To surrender. Then I surrender information, Zethvar said desperately. Everything about the Vorthak Empire, military positions, trade routes, conquered worlds, weaknesses. Everything. Ambassador Ga-un leaned forward slightly. And why would you betray your own people? Zethvar's voice broke. Because I know what's coming. Your fleet is almost ready. In a few weeks, you'll launch your counterattack against the Empire. When you do, my people will face the same terror they've inflicted on 47 other species. Dr. Kwon Byung-ho had been right about Vorthak's psychology. The alien empire was built on a foundation of absolute superiority. The mere existence of humans who could defeat them was causing their entire worldview to collapse. "You're afraid," Ambassador Ga-un observed. "Terrified," Zethvar admitted. "We studied your species for months before the invasion. We thought we understood you. We were completely wrong." Grand Admiral Sim Tai-ho stood on the bridge of humanity's flagship, a massive vessel built from the best of human and Vorthak technology. Around him, the largest fleet in human history prepared for departure. 150 ships would carry the war to alien space. 60 were captured Vorthak vessels, now crewed by humans and enhanced with new technology. 90 were hybrid, designs that combined the best of both civilizations. "Final systems check," he ordered his crew. The bioships responded eagerly to their human crews. Under Vorthak control, they had been slaves. Under human command, they had found partners who respected their living consciousness. Commander Sung Jin piloted the lead reconnaissance ship, a sleek hybrid fighter that could travel faster than light. His mission was to scout ahead and find the Vorthak homeworlds. "FTL drive is ready," he reported. "All ships standing by." "Take us to our first target," ordered Admiral Tai-ho. Dr. Song Woo-jin had used captured Vorthak star charts to identify their primary military bases. The first target was a fortress world called Vorthak Prime, defended by thousands of ships and billions of soldiers. On paper, it was suicide. In reality, humanity had advantages the aliens couldn't imagine. The human fleet emerged from hyperspace, at the edge of the Vorthak system. What they found was chaos. "Sir, we're detecting massive civil unrest on the planet's surface," reported the sensor officer. "Multiple rebel groups are fighting Vorthak forces." The news of the invasion fleet's defeat had spread through the Empire faster than official communications. The subject species that had been enslaved for centuries saw an opportunity for freedom. "It's working exactly as Dr. Kwon predicted," said Admiral Tai-ho. "The subject species are rebelling because they know the Vorthak can be defeated." Captain Nam Soo-bin led the first wave of hybrid fighters into the system. The Vorthak defense fleet scrambled to meet them, but something was wrong with their response. "They're fighting like they're already beaten," she reported. "No coordination, no strategy. Half their ships are trying to retreat before we even engage." The Vorthak commanders had heard impossible stories from the Sol system. Stories of their invincible warships captured by primitives. Stories of bioships turning against their masters. Stories that shattered their confidence in their own superiority. Colonel Mi-young led boarding parties against the fortress stations orbiting Vorthak Prime. What her teams found was shocking. The alien defenders surrendered almost immediately. "They're not even fighting," she reported to Admiral Tai-ho. "They keep asking if we're the humans from Earth. When we say yes, they just give up." The battle for Vorthak Prime lasted only 6 hours. The Empire's primary military base fell to human forces with minimal casualties. But the real victory was psychological. Professor Yun-ji monitored Vorthak communications throughout the battle. The messages she intercepted revealed the true scope of humanity's success. "Panic is spreading through their entire empire," she reported. "World after world is reporting rebellions. The subject species are uprising everywhere. The Vorthak military is collapsing." Dr. Kwon had been right. The Vorthak Empire was built on fear and the myth of invincibility. Once that myth was broken, the entire structure crumbled. Over the following months, human forces liberated world after world. They didn't conquer. They freed the enslaved species and helped them rebuild their civilizations. Each liberated world provided more ships, more soldiers, and more knowledge about Vorthak weaknesses. What had started as humanity's desperate defense had become a galactic liberation movement. Ambassador Ga-Un established diplomatic relations with dozens of species that had been enslaved for centuries. Many joined the growing alliance against their former masters. The Zephyrians remember their homeworld before conquest, she reported to Earth. The Kalani have maintained their culture in secret for 300 years. The Morvac never stopped fighting in underground resistance movements. Humanity had united the galaxy against the Vorthak Empire without even trying. Their success in defeating the invasion fleet had inspired every oppressed species to fight for freedom. War Prime Zethvar watched the reports of his empire's collapse with growing despair. Every day brought news of another defeated fleet, another liberated world, another species joining the human alliance. Please, he begged Ambassador Ga-Un during one of their meetings. Let me help you end this quickly. I can provide intelligence to minimize casualties on both sides. Why? She asked. Yesterday you called humans primitive savages. Because I was wrong, Zethvar admitted. About everything. Your species isn't primitive. Your evolution itself. You take whatever you encounter and make it better. He was right. Human engineers were already improving alien technology beyond its original capabilities. Human diplomats were creating alliances that had never existed. Human soldiers were teaching former enemies to fight alongside them. The final battle came. At the Vorthak homeworld itself, Grand Admiral Teho commanded a fleet of over 500 ships, representing dozens of liberated species fighting together for the first time in galactic history. The Vorthak High Command had gathered their remaining forces for one last stand. 3,000 warships defended their ancestral planet, but their hearts were no longer in the fight. Attention Vorthak Fleet, Admiral Teho broadcast on all frequencies. This is Grand Admiral Sim Teho of the Earth Liberation Force. You are surrounded and outnumbered. Surrender now and your people will be treated with mercy. The response came not from the military commanders, but from the Vorthak civilian population. Billions of voices broadcast the same message. We surrender. Please don't let the military sacrifice our children for their pride. The Vorthak Empire officially surrendered without firing a shot in the final battle. Their own people had risen up and demanded an end to centuries of militaristic expansion. War Prime Zethvar was brought to the signing ceremony on the Vorthak home world. He had once commanded the greatest invasion fleet in galactic history. Now he knelt before the species he had tried to enslave. I formally surrender the Vorthak Empire to the Earth Liberation Alliance, he said in a voice that could barely whisper. We beg for your forgiveness and mercy. Ambassador Ga-Un accepted the surrender with dignity. The war is over. Now we begin the work of healing. The Vorthak species was not destroyed or enslaved. Under human guidance, they were rehabilitated and eventually became productive members of the Galactic Alliance. Their military technology was converted to peaceful purposes, and their aggressive culture slowly transformed. Commander Seung-Jin returned to Earth as a hero, but he was already planning humanity's next mission, exploring beyond the former Vorthak Empire to make contact with other civilizations. There's a whole galaxy out there, he told Admiral Teho. Who knows what we'll find? Dr. So Young, who had dreamed of first contact with aliens, found herself appointed as Earth's first galactic ambassador. Her job was to establish peaceful relations with the hundreds of species humanity was still discovering. 30 years ago, I hoped to find proof that we weren't alone in the universe, she reflected. Now I'm helping to build the largest alliance in galactic history. Engineer Minho established the Galactic Technology Exchange, where species from across the galaxy shared their knowledge and innovations. Human adaptability combined with alien expertise was producing technological advances at an unprecedented pace. War Prime Zethvar spent his remaining years working with Dr. Kwan to understand how his species could overcome their aggressive tendencies. His detailed knowledge of Vorthak psychology helped rehabilitate millions of former soldiers. "You could have destroyed us," he told Dr. Kwan during one of their sessions. "Your species had every right to demand vengeance."